on yours, Joyce?
You
Thank
got
you.
it. All right. Our mission, Helping Parents Heal, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting parents whose children have passed. Through support and resources, we aspire to help individuals become shining light parents, meaning a shift from a state of emotional heaviness to hopefulness and greater peace of mind. HPH goes a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and afterlife evidence in a non-dogmatic way. HPH welcomes everyone regardless of religious or non-religious background and encourages open dialogue.
All right. Thank you, Joyce. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. I am so excited about our guest tonight, who I have come to be friends with, who I've seen for tuning sessions, and I am just very happy to introduce Vikki to you. I'm going to read her bio. Vikki is a mixed media artist, teacher, and certified Biofield Tuning practitioner. She began her creative journey as a watercolorist and now works in a contemporary mixed media style, often incorporating gelli print collage into her pieces. Over the years, she has come to deeply understand how creativity can serve as a powerful tool for processing emotion, restoring balance, and beginning to build bridges through the journey of deep loss. Vikki will discuss, I don't need to read that part. I have gotten to know Vikki over the past 2 years, I believe. I actually went to her house. Elizabeth had introduced us online, and I had gone to her house to learn how to use the camera for this group. I had just started the group, and I knew I was going to have to do meetings, and wanted to learn how to use the camera for tutorials. And Vikki was gracious enough to let me come over to her house and show me how she does her videos, which if you haven't checked out her videos, she has videos on YouTube. Vikki, what is your account on YouTube called?
Vikki Reed. Same
Vikki Reed, and she does all kinds of process art videos, which are so fun to watch. So you'll have to go and check those out. But when I was there, we started talking about sound healing, and I found out that she was a uh, biofield tuning healer, and started seeing her in that capacity. And that has been a wonderful experience for me. And I will ask her to speak a little bit about that too. But I think we'll start off tonight. I'm going to ask Vikki if she'll just talk to us a little bit of how she began her artistic journey. Did you grow up in an artistic household? Have you always been an artist, or was it something that just happened later in life? If you just go down that road with us a little bit.
Okay, you bet. So I was lucky enough to be born into a house where my mom was a painter. Well, she was a mom, but she was also an artist. And my dad was a very busy physician. But the beauty of it is that my mom let me have access to art supplies very, very early. So I was painting very early. I mean, it wasn't anything outstanding, just I had access to art supplies, and she always encouraged our efforts, and instead of being harsh and critical or whatever. But I didn't, want to choose art as a career because I felt like that was not prudent financially. And I went through school. I was always drawing and sketching and coloring and so on. And I actually was drawing mandalas very early on, but I did not understand that there was a name for them or a term for them. But that was something I did when I was little. And so then I went through school and worked. And when I was working, I was going to night classes and met my painting dad, whose name is Paul Quo, not working anymore. Um, and he told me, he said, you could make your living with this, and all you need to do is paint every day. And I said, okay. So from that time on, I started plotting, okay, well, the only way I'm going to be able to paint every day is if I quit my job. So I did quit my job. I quit my job in 1989 and I started painting every day and I started showing. I started at the Fountain Hills Fair and I painted watercolor from 1989 through almost, well, 2016, starting first with desert landscapes, botanicals, regional things here that were a lot of fun. And in 2004, I had an experience. I was being led in a different direction, but I wasn't paying attention because I like success and I don't want I didn't want people to think I was weird because I was being called back into the mandala work. And I thought, okay, no, I've got a good thing going here. I'm painting agave, I'm doing, saguaros and desert paths and so on. And you want me to what? Um, but I had an experience that was undeniably pointing me towards uh, painting the mandalas. And I started painting mandalas 2004, first in the colors of the chakras and then by intention. And those mandalas are really, they were powerful for me and I believe they're powerful for other people. The first mandala that came of the healing, of rather the chakra mandalas was healing for the heart chakra. And why was that? Because that's what I needed. So, and then the first mandala that came after the first 7 that was intention was forgiveness mandala. Okay, and then after that it was forgiveness, trust, surrender, compassion, and on. So, and then it was 2016, and I was actually I felt it was shifting, but again, I couldn't accept the change. I thought, well, no, I thought my mandalas are my life mission. I'm, this is what I was supposed to do here. And I had an experience which was not as unfathomable as you guys have experienced, but somewhere in that realm. And at the time I was painting the heart and soul mandala. And I thought, okay, this is the last one. And then I switched mediums and I switched styles. And, I'm not sorry I did. It was very confusing. It was frightening at the time, but this is what I think this is what we're called into different things. And if we listen, it's a lot less painful than if we insist on our own way. So, yeah.
I've seen your mandalas and they are absolutely exquisite. They're what, 3 foot by 3 foot?
I might have one
If you
right
could,
here. Yeah,
I would love for you to show one if you don't
yeah,
mind.
they were I mean, let's see. I'd like to find release mandala because it's got the tigers in it.
And they're watercolor and
They are watercolor.
the
Yeah.
detail of these, and you have how many, Vicki? 30? 30 of these?
Well, there's 50 large ones and more than that are small. I probably should have had this ready.
That's okay.
Yeah, I guess that one doesn't want to come out. So let me show you a different one. This is surrender.
Oh, it's just
So there's a
Absolutely
lot of
beautiful.
symbolism in here. There's a lot of there's a story that goes with each one of them. They were a real journey, and they were very it was school for me. And they have quite a fascinating energy. And they do seem to really help people. This one's called Healer's Gift, which is a really great one too. And it actually works better like that.
Wow.
So yeah. All right.
You are obviously very connected to spirit, and I know you are very led by spirit in your um, certainly in your energy work, and I'm sure also in your artwork too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Can did you realize the when you've been doing art the whole time, the connection that the art provides for you with spirit, or is that just something that's developed along the way?
Yeah, not thank you. That's a great question. Not initially, but I can I know, and I want to qualify that by saying y- y- spirit's always there, but I'm not always letting spirit in. Like spirit's always ready to channel through you. And your job, my job is to keep myself clear and ready to and be practiced. That's why you want to be ready with your scales, so that when the spirit flows through, you can allow that fluid expression to come through. Yeah.
Is it something that you set an intention with
Yes,
before you
absolutely.
start your art? I know you set it with your energy work, but with your art as well, how do you go about what should give us a look at what your daily practice might be?
Well, okay, so I walk every morning, I do qigong every morning, and I set intention every day, uh, multiple intentions that, including that everywhere that my paintings are, they will emit and transmit love and healing energy to anyone who comes in contact with them. And that is a very I've seen evidence of that to be true, and that's very, you know, it makes me very happy. Um, so and then I set intention. So I do the qigong, which helps me get clear and grounded. And then I set intention when I paint, and I also put a little, I suppose I haven't framed that one. But I do put the Reiki symbol on all my paintings. Um, when they go out. So
Mm,
that's just
that's
so
nice.
uh, I do I do believe that there is frequency flowing through the paintings. I believe that's true for every I'm not alone in that. I mean, anyone who's creating is, there's juice flowing through. If you're creating authentically, it's coming. And so yeah, and I think yeah, oh yeah. Yes, that one, yes. And it was Gisela that told me, yeah, Gisela that told me that you were to have that. So yeah.
Elizabeth has several of your pieces.
Yeah. So we listen. It's best to listen when you hear spirit. And I think is it also a Suzanne who says, how do I know it's spirit? Well, if it feels urgent or fearful, it's probably not spirit. Yeah.
Have you in your practice, have you, um, tell us how you have found healing in your artistic practice.
So I think for me, and now there's two ways for me being in that creative flow, being connected to that creative flow is the closest I am to the divine. And when I get prepared and do a session, when I create sacred space for a session, that's the closest way that I am connected to the divine. That's when things are the clearest. And, yeah, you're connected and you get information. That information just comes through, and trusting that information is great. So
Um, can you translate for us specifically, like how we can feel our children, or how we, we're talking about connecting with the divine, but can you do that in words that would be for us to connect with our children?
that's a tall order, but let me tell you about something that I started practicing not too long ago that has been really powerful for me. And see if, there's no one that can tell you how to connect, but I can tell you a couple of things. Number one, if you're massively triggered, if your nervous system is, you know, um, haywire, if you're not restful, it's going to be very hard. Their frequency is very high, and the frequency of grief is very dense. So let's just say their frequency is very, very sparkly and luminous, and grief is very dense. Now, you're going to be in grief. There's no way not to be in grief, at times. But remembering that you will be able to connect with them in those, that's why you connect when you have maybe in the shower, or just for that moment it lightened up a little bit. Okay. So one of the things I've been practicing, and I learned about it from another lady who was, uh, I'm trying to remember. I can't, because I like to give credit where I can. But I connect myself. So I'm actually doing breathing. I'm doing Qigong breathing, which is a little bit weird, but you can just do deep breathing. And I connect first. I ask for a connection with First Mother. That's Mother Earth. And I ask Mother Earth, please, will you please love me unconditionally? Will you nurture me and nourish me? Will you guide and protect me? And will you send your energy back to live in my heart with my beloved inner children and me? And then I go up into high sky and connect with First Father, and I ask for a hug from First Father, and I ask First Father to mentor me and guide me, love me, and help me feel safe. And then ask to have that energy come back to live in the realm of my heart with my beloved inner children. And then I connect with anyone out there. First, my parents, and I send them, I'm like, thank you so much for accepting me into the family. Thank you for your examples of, being lifelong learners. Thank you for the gifts and talents, and thank you for the wounds and weaknesses, because that's all a part. And then recently, now I hope this won't be triggering. but recently so my best friend passed away a couple years ago, and none of you know her, so, but she terminated a pregnancy earlier in her life, and that soul came through when I was doing this remembrance of everyone, because I'm asking divine source energy and cosmic intelligence to give everyone there the best possible afterlife that they can have. And that goes for everybody. And I've had, I Tess is in there. So that soul, and I thought, I have not thought about that for a long time. So I'm like, yeah, the best possible afterlife, that our, exhilaration, expansion, love, everything, feeling contentment, satisfaction, everything that you can have. This is what I want for you. And I really look forward to that every day, because I don't know, it just feels so good. And then I feel closer to everybody. And I think it lifts my frequency up a little bit. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
I
yeah.
think it's beautiful. I love that practice. I have to tell a story about the last time I came in to see you, Vikki, because I know there's several people on here who know Kelly Worth, who was a part of Helping Parents Heal, who passed recently. And Kelly has come to me several times, and she had come to me and had it comes often when I pull cards, and she had come to me at the day before I was to see Vikki and had told me she wanted me to pull a card for someone. And she told me what deck to get, and it was a deck that I don't really use that often. I had to go dig it out of my drawer, and I pulled a card, and so the next day I walked into Vikki's house for my appointment, and Vikki normally has her own cards. She has cards that she's made from her mandalas that are gorgeous. And she usually has me pick one of those. And I walked in and I see the very same deck that Kelly had me use the day before. And I just noticed it on the table and I thought, that's a wink from Kelly. I know she's totally validating. And so we sat down and Vikki said, I know that I normally have you pull one of my cards, but I was told this morning in meditation to use this deck for you.
Yeah,
I just love that. It was such a great validation for me. And because I know I even now I still have those doubts. Kelly had come in the day before, and then after it was all said and done, I was like, did I just make that up? Like
yeah,
what was that? And then I go into your house and there it is, just completely
that's
validating.
so good. Yeah, it's trusting that trust is hard, and it does seem fleeting, and it does seem, I don't know, it is hard to trust, but I really feel like we're being called to trust more, lean into those winks and those, oh, okay, what? I'm not supposed to go there today? Really? Okay. And that, don't let the logic of the mind talk you out of the inspiration that you heard and maybe felt in the body. I don't know. That's tricky, but yeah, don't let
Well,
the
and
mind talk you out of it.
yeah, I think the art too is it's an avenue for us to tap into that right side of our brain and to let the logic go for a little while,
Yeah.
and that is when we are more likely to connect and to receive the messages and the guidance and hear
Yeah.
from our kids.
Yes, and in that, that's why when you're painting like that, you want to be able to trust, and you want to give yourself that safety and permission to do whatever you're guided to do. Like, if you're guided to put a big black X on it, do that. You can always, go over it. But that expression wants to be free, doesn't want to be in, like, I'm gonna paint a pretty painting today. Just let that one go. Right? Because you don't know what you're gonna paint. But if you have in mind, I'm scripting this, then you have less of a chance of that channeling.
Let's talk about how you play. Like let's talk about the materials you're using now and how you come into your studio and how you pick the colors and your subjects and that sort of thing. I know the kinds of things that you focus on, but I'd love for you to share with everyone else.
Yeah, so the more freedom you can give yourself there, the better. And I would first like to say that there are those among us, I'm not really one of them, but I've run into it a lot, where they are carrying a wound from an art teacher or a critic somewhere or a parent that saw some work they did and said, "Well, what the hell is that?" And so, please, please, please do what you can to let your inner artist uh, needs to feel safe and not exposed to judgment or strong judgment or criticism. Now, what I like to play with, if I'm feeling a little bit tied in knots, I love the jelly plate because it's so accessible, and within you can have made beautiful art within 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, it's the most immediate gratification I've ever come across as an artist. So I love that. And then the color, I mean, you know, color is one of the things that's channeled the most easily for me, and I will pick up that color. So, that's super fun. The other ways that so recently I got a little stuck, and by the way, stuck isn't really the right term because you're never stuck creatively. You have only decided that your creativity needs to look like something, and you can't make it look like that, so you won't give yourself permission to do it. So you're never stuck creatively because you can do anything. Remember what somebody got, I don't know, $200,000 for duct taping a banana to a wall. So that you, so it's not you're stuck, it's just that you're putting pressure on yourself to make a painting or to make something that looks a certain way, and that's the first thing that needs to go out the door. So I uh I recommend whatever surface you like, and make it be um less of a commitment. Like, use paper. If you're afraid of a canvas, use some paper, and just, what do you like? Do you like scribbling with crayons? Do you like the feel of pastel? Do you like to get the paper wet and watch the colors just flow all over the place? Do you like, do you like to use a palette knife and just like, yeah, really, spread it around there really aggressively? That's part of the knowing what your body likes, and that can be harder to access, A, if you're triggered, B, if you're not feeling safe, um, and C, if you're putting pressure on yourself to make something in particular. Um, one of the one of the fun things that I like to do, I probably should have had this stuff all handy, but God, where'd I put those? Because I think I could show those to you. I think they're right here. Let me grab them.
Let me just say real quick, if anyone has any questions, please just put them in the chat and I will ask them.
Yeah, so here we go. So these were
Vicki,
yeah,
there you go. Okay.
yeah. I don't know why it did that, but that's
Sorry.
okay. So these were 4 things that I had painted, and I just stuck jelly print collage to them, and they're not finished, but it was fun, and it got me, it got me creating. These are not finished, but they're fun, and something is happening, and the possibilities are endless. I can do anything I want on here. And this is how I start pretty much anything, and then you know, you can bring something out of that. Recently I did one of those. Yeah, so I just did like a collage piece like this, and then I stuck a bird on it, and it was a great piece, and I sold it right away. But this is just so this is a piece of paper. This is a napkin that I took out of somebody's bathroom, guest towel, a little stenciled word there. This is another napkin. I had this, and just some old stuff and a thing here. So no, it's not finished, but it got me working. And once you're in there connecting, and I hate to say it, problem solving, but once you're in there and you're like, well, let's see, now what happens if I do this? No, that wasn't right. Now, now I want to look, and then you're in it. And when you're in it, you are in that space, and you're not plugged in to the outside world, right? You're plugged into you and the divine and your materials, and you're, you know, creating. So
Let's move into talking about biofield tuning a little bit.
sure.
Can you just explain? I'm sure there's plenty of people here that don't even know what that is. So if you could just explain what it is and maybe how you started, how you got involved with it and started practicing it.
Yeah, so it was 2018. It was January 2018, and someone was talking about it, and I instantly was attracted to it. And I went and watched a video on YouTube of Eileen McCusick, who's the founder of the method, doing a biofield tuning. And I instantly again thought, okay, I need to go learn that. I have to go learn that right now. So by March, I was in San Diego taking the foundations training, and then after that was that, then you spent time there. So that the foundations training I think was 3 days, and then we needed to go home and do 20 practice sessions, and then come back for foundations. I mean, a practitioner training, which was 5 days in San Diego, which took me till September, and I got certified in September. The thing that I see a question, but I can't focus on that and talk at the same time.
That's okay. I'll ask you
Okay.
the questions after you're done.
The thing, I mean, I doubted that I could get the information, because it is very, you are feeling into what this is based on is that our energy system, we have energy in our central channel, we have energy all around us. And throughout our lives, there can be events that we could not close the circuit on. Trauma, it doesn't have to be trauma, but things that we couldn't complete due to various reasons. And that leaves a little the word that's coming to me right now is a little vulnerability in our field. And that over time, it's a skip in a record, you know, it's a skip in the record. It's not a smooth um, play, and it holds a little bit of static outside that you really would want in your central channel. So it with the biofield tuning, it's the simplest, most elegant way I've seen to you're using vibration and frequency to bring a different resonance, bring a harmonization, bring an integration to that experience that you could not complete at the time. So what 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 happens is that you bring more of your energy home, you have more energy in your central channel, you are reacting more from your present day, your current situation, rather than reacting to something in your past that you might not have realized wasn't complete and you were triggered by an experience. So,
And I think it's important to say you do all this by using tuning forks. That's the
that's
instrument
correct. Yeah, it's the
that
tuning
she
fork. Yeah,
is using that are different
frequency.
frequencies.
That's correct. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can tell y- the aberrations or the static through the tone
Yeah.
of the tuning forks.
Yeah. There's a little perturbance or whatever out there. Yeah. And again, that's a really, you know, you have to trust it. And that's a lot of times I have to trust what I'm getting. Like I'll say, you know, I'm thinking, say this. And I'm thinking, I don't want to say that. And I, so I'll say, okay, you know, for some reason I'm, you know, seeing tortilla chips or something. And that will be significant, you know, for the client. So, yeah, it's tuning forks. It's, some are weighted, which you feel the vibration, and some are unweighted, so you hear them. So
It's a very um it it's very similar to like the sound bath in some ways. Um but it's also very different.
yeah,
And it's one of those things I really enjoyed it. I can tell it's a difference. It's something that, of course, that you have to experience for yourself, but I've
yeah,
had
and
some really profound sessions with you that I have found a lot of healing from, for
yeah,
sure.
and yes, and thank you for saying that. Yes, you have, and I want to qualify that by saying a person needs to be feeling like they are safe enough. If your nervous system has to be ready to let that in, you know what I mean? So you've got to be uh, you got to feel that you're safe so that you can allow that healing in.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about the process of regulating the nervous system. I know that
Yeah,
we've talked about how important that is,
yeah.
especially for us when we've received a trauma or a shock like we have. To that seems to be like the like number one on the list is to get our
It is
nervous system regulated. But
it is number one on the list. I can tell you, I was not aware myself for a long time, and I did a lot of things that everyone told me, yeah, this really works for me. And I would go and I would be like, yeah, that did not work for me. Well, a part of it is that uh, I was in a constant state of armoring or, you know, fight or flight. And when you are there, your whole system will reject everything because it doesn't understand what you know, it's trying to protect you. It's doing everything it can to protect you. So how do you start to get your nervous system re-regulated? Okay, there's not a there's not a blanket, and this is another thing that's, to me, that's very, very important. You've got to trust your body's reactions to things like your body, like, um, and I watch people in the tuning sessions. Is that tuning too? Is that fork too loud? You know, is that, can I do it softer if there's a reaction? But you've got to trust your body's reaction, um, because I. So what I want to say is we've got to really reestablish a relationship with the body and let the body know we're on the same team. You're important to me. You mean a lot to me, and I maybe have overlooked a lot of your guidance and your communication in the past, and I wanna hear you now. So, um, I was we have this, in Qigong, which I practice every day, there is this very simple method, which is to just pat the top of your head, just, very gently for 1 to 3 minutes, and, it's helping your energy come back down out of your head and come into your body, and, um, so this is this is one thing I use when I get super freaked out, because when you get really, really triggered, it's very hard to chart a good path forward. Most of the choices you make are not the choices that you would make had you taken a moment to say, wait a minute, I just got triggered. Let me, what do I need to soothe myself before I act? I was just, where did I hear Viktor Frankl saying that there's a moment between the stimulus and your response, and in that moment is your power. Like, you have the power to re-regulate yourself before you respond, uh, and that can start shifting things for the positive, because if we're constantly dysregulated, we're constantly making choices from that dysregulated state, it does tend to snowball. So the tapping of the head, there's EFT, which you can tap your thymus. That's a calming thing. You can rub your fingers like this. If you have the ability to go outside and get your feet in the grass, that's a really good one. But qualify that, are there cars going by that are honking? Well, that's not going to work, because that's going to, trigger you, or would trigger me. Is it blazing hot or freezing cold? Okay, then that's not going to work. So, but coming back into the body, coming back into your center, remembering, wait, I'm a divine being. I have a say in this situation here, and I don't need to just rush off. So, and I have a daily practice of qigong. I really need that. I would say meditation, but meditation can be agitating if you're not. Sometimes the first thing that can happen is that in meditation, that it's very agitating, because people don't want to sit still, and their brain is saying, "Get up! What are you doing? You're wasting time. Do you realize all the stuff we don't have done? Let's go." So in that case, that meditation is not going to be re-regulating you. So I think it's very important to come back into contact with the body, come back into connection with the body. there's a really great website called, let's see, I'll have to find it, but it's on self-compassion. And there's some free resources on there. So self-compassion has you stop and recognize, oh my God, I am, I just got triggered, you know, okay. And that recommended, okay, uh, this is part of the human experience. I'm not alone. And this might be something you guys go through, that's like, oh my God, I, I'm so alone. This happened and I feel so lost and alone. You you are not alone. You do have support. You have help. So I got triggered. I I am not alone. This is part of the human experience. It's not part of everyone's human experience, but I know people that have had this experience. And then, like what what can you do for yourself? Do you can you hug yourself? Can you put hands on your face? Can you put hands on your heart and reach out for what you need to move forward? So because I think part of what happens is we think we shouldn't have anger, or we shouldn't have upset, or we need to get over it, or um, you know why am I having this painful experience? Everyone around me is doing well. I don't want to have painful experiences. It's part of life. It does not need to persist at that intense level, though. You can by acknowledging it and allowing it and saying, okay, yes. And the next thing that's so powerful, although I'm not sure, not sure you want to do it all by yourself. But the next thing that's so powerful is, okay, let's just say, oh my God, I'm super angry. I'm so angry right now. And then you can stop and say, okay, well, how am I experiencing that anger in my body? Do I feel, does my, heart feel tight? I used to call it hot worms in my chest. But by bringing attention to the body and where you're having a physical or somatic experience of the emotion, and bringing curiosity and compassion and breath to that, you can help it move and it won't stay. I don't like the term stuck, but it will. Emotions are energy in motion, and they are meant to move through. We're not meant to try to keep them from coming. Um, you know, so if they're allowed to come through as a wave, um, you will ride it and it will pass.
Have you ever noticed maybe a connection between having a major energy shift in a tuning session and it affecting your artwork in some way?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I have, but I can tell you when I get good and triggered, I can't, I am not able to create. Like I'm not able to create in the way that I want to create, which just points back to my statement that I'm putting pressure on how it needs to look. If you have one of the things, and there is a course coming up. It's not my course, but it's an artist, Louise Fletcher, and one of the things that she recommended, because she did ask you to She does ask you to pick an emotion and paint that emotion. And so you can paint your grief. It's not pretty. It's not pretty, but it will move. If you give yourself permission to put it out on paper. And I've done it. It's powerful. It doesn't have to be grief that you paint. It can be, or anger. I mean, but it will move, and it's not for people to say, oh, that's beautiful. It was to move the energy out.
I know that I did that a lot in my beginning work of using art to process my grief. And I've heard a lot of people say this, the art, you're able to express yourself in ways that you can't express yourself verbally, um, which
That's
is, and it comes down to that, like you're talking about, moving that energy through your body, getting it out on the paper. It is shifts things for you.
yes, yes. And that's again the relationship with the body, and not keeping it up here talking about it, because you can talk about it forever and it won't move the way it moves if you let it move through your body.
I'm gonna go over here. We had one question from someone that said, do you meditate before going into your studio and start a piece? I think you covered a lot of that.
I meditate every day, and I will now, because I have the capacity to do it, because I have this insight timer thing. And I will meditate. If I get triggered, I will stop and re-regulate with a meditation, because I have found several that I love that are very, very, very soothing and calming. So, and I have one in particular that's called Deep Healing. I mean, it's not my meditation, obviously, but there is a meditation that's called Deep Healing that I started doing, and it was a body scan meditation, so that you're moving through the body, kind of bringing attention to all parts of the body. And I've done that meditation pretty much every day for almost 3 years now. And I'm going to say that has been extremely helpful for me as well. So, but it has to, you want to tap into how it feels in your body. And when you're raw and in a lot of pain, that's most people don't want to feel what's going on in their bodies.
That's very true.
And I get it. I get it.
Well, we've only got about 5 more minutes. Is there anything you'd like to talk about before we end, or any way you'd like to wrap this up?
No, I think I saw Louise's course that's upcoming
Yeah,
some.
Joyce has put a link
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the chat for
Good,
everyone.
good, good, good. Okay, that's great. And
And before I forget, can you please tell people how to find you?
oh, yeah, I am
Could you
Vikki Reed.
panel?
I am Vikki.com. I do have a YouTube channel. I don't know which one you're putting up now, but I have a YouTube channel. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Chakra Mandalas, so that's a little harder to track. There it is. Thank you, Elizabeth. And I just want for you so much to be able to have that reassurance through the losses that you've experienced, that you can connect with your kids and that they are connecting with each other and making, working, playing together on your behalf to bring about beautiful experiences in your life. It's I can't imagine the pain of it, but I know that there's joy intertwined in that pain. And I want you all to be able to find your way to that, so that you can have that connection. So, yeah.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to comment or any questions before we say goodbye? Elizabeth, you have something?
I'd just like to thank Vikki for coming on. I've known Vikki for such a long time, and she's such a beautiful soul. And I've met her through Storm Wisdom, but then obviously at our conferences. Again, she's gifted us helping parents heal, me and helping parents heal, with some beautiful artwork that I bring to every in-person meeting. And I think that the artwork itself just exudes so much peace, so much harmony and healing for everyone who's at the meeting. So it's always such a huge pleasure. Obviously, these dragonflies are very important to us as well, because so many of us get dragonflies as signs from our children. And this beautiful heart as well. I just want to show a few of these pieces. The heart here, as well as this very large dragonfly that I bring with me in the bag as well.
That is love reborn.
So pretty. So anyway, thank you for talking to us about your art, Vikki. And I just wanted to ask one question. How is it that you have so much understanding of what it is to be on this healing journey? Have you also experienced something similar to what we've experienced?
I'm gonna say similar, but you guys are in the advanced class as far as what you're having to go through and learn and process and evolve through. But yes, I have had quite a bit of loss, and it has been kind of dogpiling lately. And I think it's very important to find the best ways you can to walk with your grief, so that you can, I don't know how to say, I wanted to say elevate your frequency enough that these connections are every day for you, they're plentiful for you, that you connect, because they are always trying to connect with you.
They work as hard to connect with us as we work to connect with them. It's just it's a two-way street. And
Yeah.
thank you. And let's see, I'll pass it back to Christy, but we usually always ask everybody to unmute and say thank you and good evening at the end of the meeting.
Yes,
So
thank you, Vikki. I really appreciate you coming to talk to us, and hopefully we can have you back. I could talk to you all night.
Anytime, I'll do a demo for you next time.
That'd be great. We'll have you back again. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Everyone,
Thank you so
you can
much.
unmute,
Thank
tell
you.
Vikki
Good
good
night.
night.
have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
Thank
very
you.
helpful. Thank you,
Thank you.
Christy and Joyce. Have a wonderful evening. Take
Bye.
care.
You.
Thank you.